Hey guys, it's LittleSatyr, and I'm sorry that I've been gone again. I actually managed to catch the flu, and I've been coughing so much, like I'm still coughing. Uh, if I talk too much, I start coughing, and it's just really freaking annoying. But I feel like it's at the point now where I'm actually able to actually sit down and talk without coughing every 5 seconds, which has been the situation I've been in for, yeah, the past couple weeks, which has seriously sucked. But yeah, I'm getting better now, so I feel like it's time for me to finally sit down and make a video. So, I mentioned in my previous video, named My Name Is Not the Artist, that I have had my art stolen a few times, and I feel like that is what I want to talk about today. I've been considering talking about this several times now, but I keep forgetting or I keep getting off track and it's just bleh, I don't even know. But but finally I'm able to sit down and talk about this. So there are two separate stories that I'm going to be talking about today. Because these are like the main things that I actually remember the most. The other times, like it has happened a few times before, but it's very short situations and it's just like, yeah, also kind of weird situations, and I don't really entirely remember what was going on, and I don't remember what went down, and it's just, yeah, I don't even remember how it got resolved. So those stories aren't really worth telling because I don't know what to say. But the two situations I'm going to be talking about, like one of them is a few years ago, the other one is like at the beginning of last year. So yeah. Both of these situations have been resolved, so no need to worry about it. Both situations were properly resolved. Uh, but yeah. Okay. So the first situation is from very long ago. I don't remember exactly when it took place, but it was over at DeviantArt. A friend of mine was hosting a contest where you had to draw her Sonic fan character along with two of her friends' fan characters. And then you draw all three of them and you just posted a picture, and then it was you were entered into the contest basically. And and she messaged me shortly after the contest went up. And she was like, "Hey, started to get some of the entries for the contest now, and someone submitted this. Isn't this your art?" And someone had actually taken one of my pictures that I drew of Cosmo from Sonic X, and they taken her, or that picture I made of her, traced over it, turned it into one of my friend's character, and then I think the other two characters were also traced off of someone else's artwork, and she just submitted that to the contest. And I was like, yeah, that is my art. Yeah, that definitely is my art. So I commented on the picture and said, "Hey, excuse me, but you've actually traced my artwork. I don't allow people to do that, and you didn't even ask me permission before you did it either. So I'm actually going to have to ask you to take this picture down. I don't want to report you, but I'm going to have to do that if you don't take this down voluntarily, because I don't want to deal with this. You can't do this. It's my artwork, and you have no right to be using it like this, especially not for a contest." Uh, Normally, I would have expected them to maybe, just maybe, try to be a little bit more reasonable since I was being quite calm about it. But no, they came back at me with, "Oh, I guess I'll never get back the 6 hours it took for me to make this picture then. Oh my god, you're so rude. I worked so hard on this, and now you're just gonna take it away from me? Like, this is so disrespectful. I don't understand how you can be so rude to someone. Oh my god, why would you do this to me?" And then he blocked me. So, it was a very, very calm and collected way of dealing with the situation, wasn't it? I love when people are this sweet mannered and understanding, and if you can't tell I'm being sarcastic, then I don't know what else to tell you. So, yeah, I ended up having to report it. It was taken down, by DeviantArt staff fairly quickly. I think that she still has me blocked. I don't know. I don't keep track of these people. Uh, so it was resolved. She was disqualified from the contest, and yeah. So that was a situation and a half, wasn't it? So yeah, like I said, that was resolved fairly quickly as soon as I actually did contact DeviantArt staff about it. Um, back when they still actually took reports seriously. Um, but yeah. This other situation, on the other hand, was a little bit more personal, so to speak. If someone recolors my art, like I'm still not going to be accepting that. That still really freaking bothers me. Or if someone claims my art as their own, or like things like that. Tracing it and recoloring it is something I don't take as personally. Again, I don't still don't like it, but it's not as big of a deal to me. Like I can deal with that more calmly. Um, this situation, on the other hand, oh boy. Yeah. As I mentioned in my previous video as well, I am staff on the furry amino community, and it's probably thanks to that fact that this actually could be resolved. Because I had a person come up to me who I've never spoken to before. And they PM'd me on Amino and they were like, hey, I just wanted to ask you, do you use the Littlest Pet Shop Amino by any chance? And I responded back with, no, I don't. I've never used that. I have no reason to be in that community. Why? And he was like, yeah, so this account here, and they wrote this name I've never used before. This is not you. At this point, I'm starting to get quite concerned. So I told them, like, no, that is not me. I've never used that name. I've never been in that community. What's going on? And they're like, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. This person has been using your art for several months and is claiming your persona as theirs. So, yeah, you might wanna look into that. Um, so I signed up on the Little's Pet Shop Amino, searched this person up, and lo and behold, my art was everywhere. It was their profile picture, it was all over their bio. They had posted several of my pictures with fake proof that they had made it. They had renamed Delta Jingle. If you don't know who Delta is, it's the white and yellow, pink and blue cat that I draw every now and again. Um, that's Delta, that's my persona. They had just they they had edited some of my pictures too, like they had written jingle on it, and they had written like, oh yeah, I drew this a while ago, or this is an older piece, or I drew this the other day, and here's this picture I drew for Halloween. And all of these pictures were mine. I'm like, no, that is an older picture, yeah, but you didn't fucking make it. um that's when I realized that, hey, they posted my Halloween picture I made, which is the one I have a speed paint off on this channel. They had posted that around the same time when I posted it on Furry Amino and it got featured. Back before I was staff, mind you. But before I was staff, I didn't feature my own post. But so they had been using that since like November, and they had like I was contacted about this in like February. February, the month that comes after January. But yeah, they had contacted me then, and yeah, I contacted staff on that amino, and I spoke to them. I sent them all of the necessary proof to show that, hey, this is my character, and like all of that stuff. Like I linked them my DeviantArt page, and I linked them the first picture I made of Delta, and I was like, hey, if you note me, because I have this Sonic account, or it was my main account back then, and that is where my first picture of Delta is, and then the rest of them are like on my other, like my current DeviantArt account that I actually use. And I told them, like, hey, if you note me on any of these accounts on DeviantArt, or just anything like that, or messaged me on Furry Amino or on this YouTube channel, I will definitely tell you it's me and it doesn't belong to that person. Because I needed to give them all of the proof so they knew that I wasn't just here like falsely flagging someone. So I sent them all of the necessary proof. It was taken care of, like their profile was hidden and they were given a warning for theft and stuff like that. But me being me and being passive aggressive as all hell, I ended up messaging this user actually. And I told them because I saw that she was online. So I ended up messaging them like, hey, if you could like not steal my art and persona, that would be great. I have never received a response so fast in my entire life. Like, she was like just freaking out, like apologizing time after time again, and like trying to explain herself and just going on and on about all of these reasons as to why she had stolen my art and how she was planning on taking it down very shortly and just things like that. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you would not have taken it down if you hadn't gotten caught because art thieves usually don't. Um, and apparently she claimed she found my art on Pinterest, but I find that very hard to believe because certainly, like, a certain number of these pictures were not even that good and shouldn't be posted on Pinterest. I actually did a search. I found none of my art on Pinterest. It could be under some kind of like obscure tag that I have not seen. One of them, like if the one that was featured on Ferramino, like sure, maybe if that was on Pinterest, I don't know. But the rest of them were just dumb doodles that I don't think are of the quality to be posted on Pinterest. But apparently, she claimed that's where she had found them. And she just thought my art was so pretty and she wanted to claim it as her own because, like, oh, my art isn't any good. While I am to some extent flattered that she thinks my art was that good, it's not a compliment to have your art stolen. Not by any means. So before anyone comes at me like, oh, but you should see this as a compliment that she thought your art was good enough to claim as her own, and like say, just because she wanted to look better, because they obviously think your art is good enough to gain them any sort of like positive attention. It's not a compliment. The reason to why it's not a compliment is because like it's theft. They still stole it. They still claimed it as mine or as their own, with like erasing my name from it and getting attention for something I spent hard time on without actually like. Also, I just want to mention very quickly. I notice that I'm stumbling over my words and saying everything wrong at the moment. English is not my first language. I know how to speak English. I notice my mistakes as soon as they come out of my mouth. Don't worry about it. I know my English is weird. I'm sorry about that. But anyhow, I just it's not a compliment. Not by any means. I've spoken to other people about this as well, like several of my artist friends, and they say the same thing. It's not a compliment to have your stuff stolen. I've never seen that as a compliment. I'm never going to see it as a compliment. So before you start saying you should see that as a compliment, then no, I'm not going to. You can't change my mind on that. Don't even give me that. So yeah, we talked it out. She explained herself a little bit. Bad explanation, but an explanation nonetheless. And she apologized and that whole spiel. And they did take everything down. And the account was under investigation for a while, and they were trying to figure out if any more of the art was stolen. So it was resolved, luckily. But still, it just the reason why I take it so much more personal is because like when people trace and recolor my art, at least my character isn't stolen. It's still like their character, hopefully, or someone else's character. But when my art is claimed, the art of my characters that I have created, um, I don't know how it is for you, but my characters mean a lot to me. my personas, my OCs, all of that, like all of them, like they mean so much to me because I've spent so much time on them. I've spent time developing them. I've spent money on getting art of them in many cases. Um, it's like just thought about their backstories, and I put so much time and love into my characters. And to just have them taken away from me, stripped of everything they are, just because someone felt that it was okay to just claim someone else's hard work as theirs. I don't like that. And it's just, this is also why I don't see it as a compliment. It's because that's my time. That's my characters. That's my art. It belongs to me. And if I made it for someone, like made it for a friend, or if it was commission or things like that, it belongs to that person as well. And for someone else to just come and claim that, that's not okay. It's never going to be okay in my book. Some people don't care as much, but the majority of the people I know, they don't like it. And they're probably never going to like it either. So, yeah. Well, it was basically that. I could talk about art theft for an eternity, but I don't really want to sit and like this was supposed to be a story. I've already explained sort of why theft is bad and all of that. Like, I don't want to go too deeply into it, but basically, it's disrespectful, and I always think it's going to be disrespectful. I explained a bit more in my previous video as well. So, yeah, that was basically that. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of my stuff, I have a DeviantArt link down in the description. I also have a Twitter. You can check both of those out. There's a link to my Fur Affinity as well, and some of the aminos I'm on. So you can just come and talk to me if you want to. um, so yeah, that was basically all I had to say. And I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video, which will hopefully be out before another month has passed. But yeah, talk to you guys later. Goodbye.